Attention gamers. I love the feeling when you are playing Rift Battleship and you are just trying to sink that stupid blonde when you get a fat swanky Jane crit. It gives me the same feeling as being dealt a blackjack or landing on Tasha big tits and spin the bottle. Pure dopamine. I mean, you're now in a closet with the biggest milk bubbles at the party. You've just earned enough money to fund your next OnlyFans subscription, and you actually did damage on an ADC. This feeling is so great because it's not guaranteed, it's just a random chance, hence the name Crit Chance, which turns building crit into a small in-game dopamine gambling simulation, and thus League of Legends into an addictive trap. And Riot obviously knows this, which is why they reduced how much crit you get on all items while increasing how important it is on a butt ton of champions. But their latest change to feed into the addictive piss pit of a game buffed Caitlyn in ways that she now can fire aces up people's a-holes, which will benefit from crit, making her into the Chad mid laner that your jungler told you not to worry about. These are the runes you need to rock. The combination of this and this makes any low health Anus quite appetizing to ult. Then the hunter that's ultimate makes your critted snipies come out every 30 to 40 seconds. Collecting eyeballs and taking this golden ash give you the damage and the speed, and finally this bad boy makes getting caught in your nets feel that much worse. Then knock the dust off Blade of Dusk because it gives lethality before most people have armor and a ton of CDR for the rest of the game. Then these two are next in whichever order fits the tankiness of the bad guys. Finally, Yellow Lightning and the item that lets you be a douche shooter from downtown Disney to finish off. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Timberlands if the enemy is squishy for more ults and boots with the fur against tanks, and you just became a hybrid assassin marksman tank killer that can affect the entire map from a small radius around mid, which I will show you today. Makes it quite easy to get fed in this RNG game. You'll still run the chance of Riot auto-filling you bot while giving you assigned support and Yone jungler, but I felt a little better knowing that he won tricks that bloody win twin and that he would be swapping with someone who plays a lot of Talon. Easy win unless he locks someone else in. Bruh. After you introduce yourself as a cop, you can check out the most successful runes and builds on that champ as well as what the pros have been playing, and then a FaceCheck set it all up for you in one push of a button. The app I'm using for all this is FaceCheck, and it also gives you a scouting report of the other team so that you can tell your jungle to gank for you, knowing he'll probably just spam ping you all game instead. FaceCheck wasn't lying when they said Yone is well versed on he who shits win, but unfortunately the second he died decided that he would rather be watching TV. So you get stomped in a 4v5 and lose, and if you are still jaded enough to think your own performance would have affected this game, you can use the post-game tool that gives you the areas you should focus on in the future, so use my link in the description to get all this for free and try FaceCheck today. Alrighty, so after 46 lobbies I was able to get the role I actually queued up for on this sexy sheriff and knowledge bomb right off the bat. In case you don't know what foreshadowing means, it's a warning or an indication of a future event. For example, let the fact that this Nasus thought he would win this slap battle at level 1 foreshadow that he was a board certified dumbass with a storyline that we will cover later. As for myself, I'm against reworked Udyr looking like Big Bird from Sesame Street got stuck in a freezer, and I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue what the circle storm of sperm does, so I threw a net before trying to warm him up with an ignite only for Golden Harambe to introduce himself in a way that costed me some cash. But I can't complain, I got the lane to myself to genocide these hooded midget employees in peace until baby Thor comes in trying to nose tackle me into a wall, and bottom line is big babies don't like bear traps, so I hit a combo that would make Saber proud to uninvite her from my presence. At this point I have a long sword as well as the one I bought from the shops that's a big dick joke when hypothermic Bigfoot comes back trying to dust me with snowflakes, so I fly a kite like it's windy and then I patiently wait for a good time to kneel down and watch him tell you what to do on this video as his last dying wish. Then he comes back to lane rocking a lost chapter like he's trying to trick 2G the new Udyr 2.0 before identifying as a boiled ram, and Arcane may have indicated some girl-on-girl fantasies in this mall cop, but bestiality isn't my thing, so I kill him off before the little pooper trooper can do anything about it, and I may be stomping, but this is League, so there are opposing forces at play. Let's take a look to see how the top lane storyline is progressing. Don't worry, I looked into it and he wasn't dropped on his head as a baby, but there's still speculation around how many times he may have been whipped at a wall or shot out of cannons, but it's cool, he'll scale, right? Meanwhile I've got my rubber gloves on ready to attempt to clean up this shit festival with Curious George leading the pack into what I'm not exactly sure would have been a successful 1v1, so I'll just do everyone a favor and cash that check for 7 hundo myself. Thankfully I'm still against one of those players who are willing to trade their LP to see what newly reworked champions look like, because when it comes to this Udyr the wheel is spinning but the hamster is clearly dead, and so is he for a 5th time. I decide to take a vacation down south to get my mind off of our Narcissus being impossible to underestimate, and I kick things off by shoving an ace up my banging internet GF's beehole for the kill. Then the rest of us do this weird ceremonial rift dance where we know that Kaisa knows that we know she's totally fucked, and I'm just hoping I don't piss off the laser pointer on that statue in the process while airmailing a Q to the wrong zip code before getting my double. Then I'm calling an Uber to the nearest thrift store to cop me another dirk when Man Bear Pig comes in asking if I have enough money, but my jungler is literally an ape, so Mr. Beast X3 gets away and Aphelios flames me as if he didn't just chuck an ult into bumfuck's Kalamazoo, but luckily this Udyr is so far behind he thinks he's first, so it wasn't hard to rain on his parade. The enemy team bonds over some successful PvE and request my bot lane as dessert, but not to fear me and straight line walking Wukong are here, and while they are trying to do their Cincinnati Zoo impersonation I'm demonstrating why taking Kate mid so she has 3 levels on a typical bot laner is low-key super strong. Then my mere presence has this skipping set of pigtails shaking with PTSD as she kicks me from the party so that she can kill my Wukong again off camera to spare him the humiliation. And it looks like I'm gonna have to both carry and get my 10,000 steps in today if I want to win this, as Aphelios proves to be allergic to landing ults, but fortunately mine never miss. But since Susan was up top filming content for a Dumbest Deaths compilation all game, we now have 3 people and a severely swollen scuttle crab knocking on our front door, so we kill off the bear and then the big beetle first. That said, I don't get more than 15 steps out of the house without our dog getting off the leash and getting himself stuck in a shit situation, somehow losing to the 3 brain cells playing Udyr, but you know what they say, an ace a day keeps the fed enemies away. This leaves myself, who admittedly positioned worse than a toothless man at a corn on the cob eating contest, but they are grouped up perfectly for a Seraphine ult that gets fired in the opposite direction of the fight, so yeah, a little of black and white reflection for rap, but then straight back to battle where Billie Jean Armstrong loses his land and ult virginity and the sky orgasm is one for the record books, so we live to fight another day. And I may be 15 and 2, but my teammates are all late for their hooked on phonics remedial English classes, so like a toddler I try to negotiate for them to let me play for 5 more minutes, only for Riot to think that this solves anything, so I fumble through all the Star Guardian sex songs while I play settings to turn it back on, only to immediately miss when it was disabled. It was at this point where I realized that I failed to consider what Wukong was going through, so let's take a quick look. Then I see a large gathering bot and I know it's gonna get bloody, so I tell Gromp to look away, protect his innocent impressionable eyes from me speedballing an iron through the crowd to kill my internet GF before having to deal with the man who had a rough experience with a Halo 2 needler to prove that this build can burst tanks as well. But unfortunately me third wheeling for the weird goth and his invincible stepsister whispering weird shit is no match for Miss Thigh Gaps and an angry big-haired midget, so despite one auto doing 70% of Kaisa's health I'm unable to overcome my own awful mechanics to survive this one. Alas, the play from the intro where we are playing Battleship from over the wall, so I'm like QAA1 I sink your dumb blonde bitch as the other ships start to sink as well, so I focus on grape-stained Volibear and we survive to fight one more round of ratchet-ass Rift Bloons tower defense. That said, half my team is now playing some weird game where they all count backwards together. Looks lame, but they've been obsessed with it, which means I have to stop Big Winged Wendy from getting Elder, and thanks to Riot's Crit Casino my ults are doing more damage than ever. Then I'm on my way back to deal with the empowered House of Gryffindor babies when I see the Star Slut, so I stick around to surprise her, Let her tie me up and then let a dragon jizz puke all over her. But then I'm trying to defend mid when Udyr comes in like a blue bat out of hell, so I try my best to burst him, but I'm getting the feeling of us being outnumbered as if our jungler's dead. Our Nasus is rage farming fucking top lane by himself, and our Seraphine is sitting in fountain with ult, so you know what they say. There's no I in team, but there's 4 in inting idiots. Hope you enjoy, sub to make me feel better. Rav out.